All right. Welcome back to the P-BVUSD Distance Learning Training on Canvas and curriculum modules. Where do I begin? We're looking forward to learning with you guys. I'm going to stop our music today. So, our distance learning team is striving to build the capacity of teachers to meet all students' needs through innovation, personalized learning experiences online. And these are our Zoom norms for today. So thank you for keeping your mics muted and videos off for now. Make sure you drop your questions into the Q&A doc and you can communicate through the chat. And just a reminder that if you do have a question and you want answers without getting lost in the chat, please take a moment to type your questions in the Q&A document. We'll take some time afterwards to answer the questions posted in that document. So thank you for taking the time to do that. So as we move forward with distance learning, many of you will need to reach out for support. And this is your support network. You can reach out to colleagues who are tech savvy, your C5 and Model Tech teachers, your academic coaches, your VPs and your principals. You can go to the P-BVUSD Distance Learning website at that address, bit.ly/PBV_DL. That's also where you can find all recorded videos for these trainings. You can also email us, your distance learning team at Distance Learning, and you can also give us a call if you're into talking on the phone. And for IT support, you can add a ticket at that address. Now, today we're going to be doing something special. We're going to be having hosting an after party after our 30-minute sessions, where we'll be hanging out for a little bit. You can join us to unmute, be inspired, share, and ask questions. Now, if you need to go at the end of our time, that's totally fine. If you'd like to party, hang out with us after the sesh. By the end of our time today, you will understand what are Canvas modules, how to structure your Canvas modules, the steps to create a module from scratch, and also linking external curriculum. So those are our objectives for today. Now, before we begin, we need to understand the purpose of modules in Canvas. So modules are a tool that can unify all course content into structural components, like a one-stop shop. In other words, modules are like boxes of activities you want your students to access. Now, you can organize your module content by week, day, or topic. For example, you can have a module called Week 4 and use indents to list out the subtasks in the order you want your students to follow. Now, if you want your students to complete material in a sequential learning path, you are going to love modules. You get to decide and even require which activities or steps your students follow before moving on to the next. You can also link to course navigation or resources. That means you can add links to other assignments in that course, discussions, quizzes, websites, videos, documents, and more. And now we're going to hear from Shannon on how to make a plan with modules. I will pass it over to you, Shannon.
All right, thanks, Hans. Let me share my screen with you really quick. Oops, let's go back into present mode here. There we go. All right, you may want to do some planning before you begin building your modules, thinking about routine and patterns that your students can follow. One thing you can do is sketch out an outline of how you would like your curriculum presented to the students. If you keep the same format with your modules, it'll be easier for the students to understand the expectations. So a module can be constructed like an outline, like you see here on the screen. Now let me show you a template structure that I already made in Canvas and how to place headers. All right, so I'm going to go back into Canvas. Here is an ELA weekly content template. So you can see that I used headers to create a format. So I have my Zoom link. This is by the week. So I have Monday, the 3 things that I want them to do. Tuesday, I want them to read, write, speak, but there's no content in here yet. This is just a way to organize your content. And since I have a template, if I want to save myself a lot of work, I can keep this template the way it is, and I can simply duplicate. So if I go over here to my settings, I can duplicate this module template, and now I have a copy of it. So I can keep this intact, and then I can go ahead and start adding my content into this new module. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to create a module from scratch. Let's collapse all of this. Oh, it doesn't want to collapse. There we go. So when you're in your course, you want to go to the modules page, and then you would come over to the right on the blue button that says add module or plus module, and give it a name. I'm just going to name mine demo module. You can also add prerequisites. So pay attention right here. If you're wanting to guide the students on what to complete before they can get access to other things, you can add a prerequisite and select a previous module. So the students would have to complete that before they can move on. So just be aware that that's there. I'm not going to do that for this one. And I'm going to add a module. The next thing I want to point out is the modules, when you add them, they go to the bottom of the page. You can move this up. It would be easier for your students to find the content in the modules if it's at the top. So you just take these, your mouse, your cursor, and when you see those plus arrow signs, just drag and drop it up to the top. All right, so the other thing I want to talk to you about before we move into some of the other pieces is publishing. So when your modules do not have this little green button here at the top level, the students won't be able to see any content underneath the module. So you can see here on this one, we have some content. Why is it doing this to me? There we go. Well, it's not wanting to expand. But you want to make sure that you publish this green dot here. This is really important. If this is not published, it doesn't matter what you have published inside of that module, whether it's on or off, the students won't be able to access it. So very important that you publish this top layer. Okay, now I'm going to show you some of the connections between the navigation menu items over here and the modules. Let's start with assignments. All assignments can be found in the navigation bar under assignments. So right here, I'm going to click on assignments. They can be created from here and added to modules later. This is also important because you can duplicate previous assignments and then make adjustments or modify that and use that again. So it will save you some work. So I have an assignment already made. I made a Google assignment here. It's called My Google Assignment. So I just wanted to show you this is where your assignments live. I can create here. But when I go back to my modules, I can also create them or move them into this module from this little plus sign. So I'm going to click on the plus. By default, it comes up on assignments. I was looking for that My Google assignment, and there it is. So just making sure that you guys understand there's a connection between those menu items and then when you're in your modules. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Or if you wanted to create a new assignment, you can create a new assignment right from here as well. So there it goes. And I'm going to add that item. It came in automatically published because it is published at the top level. Click on the assignment. Now I have a Google assignment. I put in some video instructions as my students submit their Google assignments. I will see their submissions here. You can see that I have none right now. Let's go back to modules. We can also put in a discussion. So over here, I have discussions. I've already created a discussion. It's called the SEL Discussion 1. So you can create them there. Or again, you can go to the plus on the top of the module and use this pull down menu to create a discussion here. And there's my SEL discussion one that I was looking for. Or I could put in a new topic. There it is. And I'm going to add an item. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here's a discussion that I put in. This is what the kids will see. You can put in a prompt for them. My question was, what do you like about distance learning? What do you find difficult about distance learning? And then I'm asking the students to post their answer and then reply to 2 classmates. They can use the video tool, which is really easy for kids, especially the younger kids, or they can do this in writing. So they would just simply see this when they click on it, and then they would reply by clicking right here. And notice I have a thread already going. So there's a separation between these first two responses, and then there's a separation, then I have another one. The top layer is the original post, and then this is a reply to the post. And they can do it through video or through text. Let's go back to modules. And let's add something else. How about a page? I can click here and add my page, but I want to show you the benefit of understanding that the pages are over here, because I have this great page called The Tortoise and the Hare. Let me open it up and show you. Our teacher friend, Jennifer Rodriguez, had created this, and she just took a snapshot of the student's picture. So that was just a screen capture. And then she linked the digital content. So she linked it out to Benchmark here and put her learning objectives and her questions. So this really could just be changed really easily story by story, and she can use the same page, duplicate it, and then just change the story out. So this is how you would do that. Let's go back to view all pages. If you come over to the settings, I can duplicate this page. Then I can go in and edit it and rename it and just change it to the current assignment. So another way to save yourself some work if you have a structure of a page and just trading out content. Now let's put it in our module. I'm going to add, this time I want a page, and I want the tortoise and the hare. And I'm going to add an item. All right, you can do this for quizzes as well. So I have quizzes over here. I'm going to go ahead and show you what quizzes live in that navigation by clicking on quizzes. There's all the quizzes that I can also find in my navigation menu. I'll just put in a practice and add item. And you can also do this with Google Docs. So if you have a Google document that you just want your students to look at, it's not an assignment, or you don't want them to each have their own copy, but it's something that you want them to look at, you can do that from clicking add on your module. And then here, we're going to use the external tool. And every time I think about like bringing something in from my Google Drive or Google assignment, I'm always thinking about that external tool. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to look for my Google Drive. I have 2. I've tried them both. This one here, the Google Drive LTI 1.3, seems to work better, so that's what I'm going to use. And it's going to take me out to my drive to select a file. I'll put today's slides in. It sits right there. But notice you can search your drive, you can upload things, your shared drives, you can access all kinds of files. Now I'm going to attach it. And here's the little nuance again. You need to click that blue button again, so add item. And there it is. If I wanted to, here, I'll show you what it looks like. This is what it's going to look like to the kids, and your slides or whatever you want to add there will come up looking like that. Let's go back to modules. All right. So now Jill is going to show you how to add content from your digital curriculum, and then also do some more organizational features. So Jill, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thank you, Shannon. I'm going to share my screen. And I am going to be using the exact same account that Shannon was in. And so I'm going to model a math lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and start planning for Monday. And if I look at the modules that are existing right now, I'm going to click on modules. They're all right here, and I see that there is one that has been created for Monday. And opening, expanding that up, I see that ELA is set, science and history, but there's no math. And I want to do a math lesson. So I'm within Monday. I want to go over to the plus sign on Monday because I want math to be listed below. And the math is just going to be a label. So I want to select text header, and I'm going to call that math. And I don't want to indent, I want it the same level as the ELA, science, and history. So now I have all four there. I want to make sure that it gets published so the kids see it. So now I need to think of how I have been teaching math last year when it was face-to-face. My classroom was run that we did a math talk, and then we did some type of instruction or video, and then we did student practice. I want to do the same thing online now. I'm not going to invent anything new. I'm going to use all the existing materials that I used last year. So my first step is going to be to create a math talk for the kids. And so I'm in math right now, and I'm going to go up and add a discussion, because in math talks, I want the students to discuss with each other. It's already set up in Canvas as discussion, so I'm going to select add discussion. And there is one that is called math talk, or I can create a new name if I want. I'm going to go ahead and select math talk. This time, I'm going to go ahead and indent it because I want it to lie underneath math. Indent one level and add item. Now, all I did was create a blank canvas that's called Math Talks. I don't have anything in there. So let me click on it and we'll empty the shell. This is a discussion, but there's nothing in it right now. So I want to edit it. And it opens up this editor here where I can add things. And then there's other items down below that I will need to select after I'm done completing this. So my assignment on the math talks. Now, usually we had the kids discuss in the classroom together, and I won't be able to do that at this time with this discussion. So I'm going to ask the kids to please answer the prompt and then comment on two other students' responses. Okay, so there's instructions, and now I need to insert what I want the prompt to be. And let me correct some of that typo there. And the prompt I like is would you rather? And I have a file of them that I've used for numerous years. So I need to go and find that file. It's saved in my Google Drive. So I'm going to use the down little arrow there. I'm going to go to my Google Drive. It's going to open it up, and I'm going to select the file. And I made it pretty easy. It should be in my recent file, and here it is. Would you rather? So it's asking if the kids want to have a penny a day or if they want a lump sum. So it gives them a prompt to kind of ponder on. So there you go with the prompt. I have the instructions above it, and it's already selected as a discussion. So here are some of my options. I want to allow a threaded replies, and I also want to allow liking of other comments of the kids. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I save and publish that. So I used an existing file that I've used year after year, so I'm not inventing anything new. I'm just organizing it into the module. So I'll go back to modules so we can make sure that it's set up. So here's my math, and then here's my math talk, which is would you rather. The next thing I want to do is do an instruction. Well, I use Go Math Material, so I'm going to go ahead and add at a page for the students to access a video from Go Math. So here's my new page. I'm going to name this one Go Math Video. Okay, so I'm going to add the item. Again, when it first goes there, there's no content to it. And I want to go ahead and indent it one place so it looks like it's in order after my math talk. Then we go to the Go Math video. I need to open it up and I have to add the content. I need to edit. And with Go Math, I went ahead and I already logged into my McDougall-Littell account. I'm going to look for its video from 4.1 because that's what we are studying. I'm not sure why it's giving me that. I may have to refresh because I logged in a lot earlier today. Let's see. Yep, I'm going to have to refresh. Log back in. Okay, here we go. So let's search video 4.1. Here it is. It comes up in Spanish, so you know that that is available. But here is lesson 4.1. Hopefully it's going to be Dr. Berger. I love his videos. And let's see. There's Dr. Berger. Okay, so I'm going to stop that. So this is the link that I want to place for the kids to watch. So I'm going to do a Control-C to copy, go back over to Canvas. And I'm not going to embed it as a link because I found out that doesn't work as the video link. I'm just going to go as a regular link here. It's asked me what is my URL. I do Control-V for paste and insert link. Now, what's really kind of nice and easy is that Canvas created the word link for me, and there's my link for the students. So if I want to leave it as that, I'll just leave it as that. I'm going to save and publish. So now I have a video for the instruction. Let's go back to the module so you can see I have my math component, which has the math talk, and now the Go Math video. So the last thing I want to do is give the students some practice. So I'm going to add another page, and I'm going to go ahead and add an assignment. And I'm going to add a new assignment, and I'm going to name this one Next Gen number 4, because this is the 4th assignment here. I'm going to go ahead and quickly indent it so it's all lined up so I don't have to do that later. And there it is. Again, it's an empty shell right now until I give it a place to go. So here is my page. I'm going to edit it. And the same editor comes up. I want to go ahead and make a link to go over to NextGen because it's an application outside of Canvas. So here is the assignment, ratios and proportion assignment that I want the kids to be able to do. So again, it is a link. Select the link, Control-C to copy it. Go back to Canvas, and I'm going to create a link. But I want the words to say, please complete this assignment in NextGen, okay? And where I want the link to be is right here with NextGen. So I highlight those words, I select the link connect button. It opens up to the URL, which I'm Control-V to paste, insert the link, and there it is. So the kids know that this is the link to the NextGen where they need to complete that. I can go ahead and fill out the rest that I'm going to have it worth 20 points. I'm going to have this as an imported assignment. The submission will be within NextGen because it'll grade it for me. So that's really nice. It's going to go to everyone. I'm not going to put a date on it, but I am going to save and publish. Okay, so let's go back to the module now. So this is my lesson plan for Monday. Same routine I did last year face-to-face. And I did not create anything new. These are things that are already there, very simple. So let's just now take a look as to what the flow is. So when the student opens it up, here's the math talk. They will complete that. They will do their reply, and they will respond that way. Then they have a next button down here in the lower right-hand side. They can select next. Then it's going to go to my video, which then there's a link out to the video. Let me go back to Canvas. Then if they've watched the video, they've had their instruction, they go to the next button. And here then I have where they have to practice the next gen assignment. So they would then click on next gen and they would complete that assignment and submit it into you. So that's how the modules work. It's not that complicated when you have all the materials kind of set up and everything is open for you to do the links. And I'm using stuff that I've used in the past. So I'm not working harder, I'm working smarter now within Canvas. So I'm going to pass on the mic to Hans, and he's going to close us out with some really great stuff to watch.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill. So, you've learned how to create modules from scratch, but what do teachers' modules actually look like? Well, we've invited some teachers to share how and why they've set up their modules on their Canvas courses, and I will refer to these super teachers as module masters. So let's see what they've shared. If you're following along in these slides, I'm on slide number 15, where there's a link here. I'm going to click on that link, and I'm also going to drop this link into the chat if you would like to see the module masters. So here, and since we're running short of time, I'm going to go to the first module master who submitted, who is Melissa Raffoon from Castle. She's a 6th grade teacher. And here we have a short Loom video that she's created. And we also have a resource of a virtual classroom shell that's editable. Please make a copy for your own personal use. I'm going to click on that Loom video, open it up, adjust the volume, and let's see what Melissa does with her
Hi,
modules.
P-BVU teacher friends. I wanted to share with you how I created and organized Canvas for myself and for my students. So I started with Google Slides, and yes, I jumped on the bandwagon for the virtual classroom. So this is my shell for my virtual classroom. Again, it's in Google Slides. There's 17 slides. I've got one for each day, and then my small groups in there. But basically, the students will click on the day of the week for their lessons, and I've got our schedule outlined for the day with the lessons and what their assignments are. So I've got our times outlined. In the middle is all the lessons and things that I'm teaching, and then on the right is kind of their to-do list and their deliverables for the day. There's a spot for lesson objectives. I've got our calendar there, and then our small group rotations. Everything is linked to all of the apps that they need. So it's kind of fantastic. However, when you go into Canvas, once you embed it into Canvas, it changed my life, because as students come to my 6th grade P1 Raffoon course, this is set as my home screen. So this is what they see when they come in. They can click on the day of the week and they jump right to our lessons for the day. So if they get kicked off or lost, they know this is the place where they come back to check the time and figure out where we are to catch back up. So once it's embedded in Canvas, you can actually link the Canvas assignments directly into the calendar, which is great because then they're not navigating around looking for things. With a click of a button, the lesson opens up. Another great thing that I did in Canvas was I copied all of the district content into my 6th grade P1 Raffoon course. In doing that, when we go to the modules, I was able to move the modules around in a way that made more sense to me and more sense to my students. So you can drag these modules around inside, and I've been putting the newest one on top so that you're not having them scroll all the way to the bottom. And then I also drug the individual assignments around and put them in the order that I'm teaching them through the day. So starting at the top, we teach ELA first, then we go into math, and then any additional items, so that once they do click into an assignment and it opens the assignment, then they're able to hit the next button to move on to the next subject as well. It's helped a lot with not being able to find things. And if they do just get completely lost with the next buttons, they can just go back home, click back into our calendar for the day, and click right back into the lesson, and it will take them where they need to be. So good luck, friends. I can't wait to see all of your wonderful ideas, and I hope that you find this helpful.
Thank you so much, Melissa. That was amazing.
Bye,
Thank you for
PBV.
sharing that. Oops, oops, oops. Let me find my way back here. So if you or a colleague that you know are module masters and you would like to share how and why you've set up your modules so other teachers can get better, create a 1 to 2 minute Loom or Screencastify video and add it to this sheet. So thank you guys so much for joining us today, and thank you for all of your efforts to meet your students' needs. If you think this training was awesome, that's great. If you think this training isn't awesome, please let us know in the feedback form. We're going to drop that into the chat so we don't put you through that again. We continually listen to your feedback and improve our trainings to meet your needs. So that concludes our time together. Make sure that you sign out, and we'll be starting our after party in just a moment. If you'd like to stick around, I'm going to stop recording at this point.